What up, what up? Happy hump day, boys and girls. Today is May 27th, 2026. This is episode 136 of Crew Talk Sports. Crazy weekend, man. Crazy fucking yesterday with the Avs post-mortem, for sure. We're going to talk a little NASCAR, Indy 500, Dante. We got NBA playoffs still cruising around. Other NHL news, if we even can bear talking or watching it. So yeah, big episode, some NFL stuff too. So let's get straight into it. Dante, biggest kick in the dick ever? I wanted to start with a couple questions I wrote down. What was more disappointing in terms of like how the season ended? I know you like love that the Nuggets lost, but Nuggets losing in round one to a banged up Timberwolves, right? Like that was surprising. Bo Nix, broken ankle, AFC Championship game that a lot of people are comparing what watching the Avs series was like. It was just like stagnant and looked horrible with Harvey running for -1 yards. Or the Avs getting swept by the Vegas Knights, man. Which one, as a Denver sports fan, kicked you in the dick the most?
Definitely the Broncos, just because it's so hard to get there. I mean, the Avs, we've seen their success now for the last, 4 or 5 seasons. So it, does sting, especially because they were the odds-on favorite, and we're making videos. This team's different. Like, give us the cup,
Dude,
give us the cup.
bro, yes.
But
Oh my God.
like the Broncos, you're like, man, I don't know when they ever could get. Hopefully they're back this year. But at the same time, if that's the NFL's tough, that division's tough. The Nuggets, it's disappointing because like the Timberwolves, they literally built that team to beat the Nuggets, and then that's who we get. So, but watching these, the Spurs and Thunder play, Denver doesn't have anything for them. So that one's a little bit more like, red flag. Changes need to be made. You see the Broncos, the running back approach because they like where they're at. The Avs, it's gonna be curious to see what they can do. I don't know with all the contracts, and they kind of went all in for this year. You trade for Kadri, you make some moves. So I don't know how many of these guys we can get back. You can't really blame like the goaltending because if you told me the Avs were giving up two goals, you're like, oh, okay, we won. We're scoring 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the disappointing thing with the Avs was, is just like the goal scoring wasn't there. Shout out to to Vegas and their defense, but they had us in a blender. I mean, they were being out physical with us. Game 3, we scored 3 goals. That was the most we had in the series. So it's just like unexpected for sure. Just I think Denver sports fans like kind of a little bit disbelief because we were overlooking the Knights a little bit. So the Knights had that chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a couple things here. Yesterday specifically, 25 minutes with one shot on goal was like the most non-Avalanche thing all year, right? And I saw the Knights won 39 games. We won the President's Cup. Like, it's just so surprising, man. I mean, I want to get into, I know Castiglione here would be foolish to let go of Bedsy. I feel like that's the most 50-50 thing, man. Is like people are saying that he's got to go. Other people are saying don't. I think like, it's been 24 hours almost. I'm kind of like, let's stick with him. But like, you do need to see changes, right? But I think we ran into just like a buzzsaw, man. I think the Knights just buzzsaw the Avs. They were cool with playing us. They liked it. The coach came in, and coached 13 games before the playoff. It's just like everything lined up for the Knights. And I think that their experience, shout out to the Knights fans, man. That fucking Knights owner, my God. I think what a great start to their fucking franchise. But man, I mean, the were we banged up? That's an excuse. The refs, that's an excuse. It's just like, where were the guys, man? I you brought it up, dude. I made that TikTok and I'm like, fuck, dude, I could see the Avs sweeping. I got Avs in 5, and it's like, oh my God, man.
Hey, shout out you for not deleting it.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say I gotta go delete this. People are still commenting brooms on there. I'm like, good for you, man. I don't even know what to say. Like, you just gotta nod the cap. But yeah, we could get into the changes. So I mean, I texted my buddy. He's like diehard, man. He's diehard Puck fan, crazy Avs fan. He's saying he's got to go in terms of Bednar. Too much of front runners. Not sure what he means, but he said we tied 2-2, 3-2, 0-2 in Game 7, 5. So, like, a lot of statistics saying that Bedsy with this lineup should be producing better results. I also want to talk about the window. We talked about it for the Nuggets. It is closing. Would it be a failure if he only wins one cup with this loaded Landeskog, McKinnon, Makar? I would say yes. But I also want to play like devil's advocate. Who else is out there? I heard somebody talking Patrick Waugh. Bringing him back, I don't think so. That would be a good idea at all. And I thought you brought up Wedgwood in net. Man, a couple huge saves yesterday. playing the Blackwood Wedgwood thing I thought was playing good for us, but I'm not even blaming the goalies, man. I mean, it was like such an offensive just disappointment, man. It really was. It was like no firepower, no creativeness, no great looks. The Knights just like, you want to talk about like the T-Wolves beat the Nuggets. The Knights, man, they might be up there with them, dude. I look in the, like I said, I've been watching a lot of puck, and I never took the Knights seriously based on how they were playing against Anaheim and Utah, right? And I'm like, fuck, the Avs will destroy those teams.
Yeah.
And we played the Wild, who I thought was considerably better. But man, it's all about matchups, right? It's all about matchups. Oh, you're getting called out, missed the first down. Quit pouting. Sam, he's a little butthurt, man. Where Denver sports, not a good postseason for us. However, at least we are having postseasons, right, Sam? Shout out, Sam. I got your back, Dante. Yeah, then I thought it was funny real quick, too. Flip it over to the Rockies game. They're down by a bazillion last night. It's like, dude, we are in Moose Piss City, but I don't know. I mean, would you like Bedzies, like Bednar? Like, what type of change are you expecting? And I can kind of talk about some shit that I was thinking.
I don't know. I mean, hockey, the coaching is weird, right? Like the Knights, this coach started mid-season for them. Like you'll see teams have a couple bad months, and then and then they just fire their coach and they hire a new coach mid-season and they can make a run. So hockey coaching is weird. I don't know. I'm not going to give up on Bednar. I think he's done a lot with this team. I think they had the Stanley Cup hangover after in 23. They had to rebuild the roster a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing for next year, the Avs have $2.9 million in cap space. That's last in the league. They have no first, second, or third round draft pick. They are free agents though. Brent Burns, I mean, that dude needs to retire. He's on his last leg.
Hold on real quick. This motherfucker pissed me off so much. Like, he would just get it, wrist shot in. And I get like, oh, put the puck on neck. Bro, 80% of his shots wouldn't get past the person in front of him. Dante, you're so much taller even sitting in your chair. Yes. Ouch. Very ouch. There's a reason why Tennessee made Jack Daniels mix that. Yes. And Colorado has like, what do we got, Dante? Breweries?
Coors Light.
Rolling Rock. Coors Breezy. Christ, man, really needed a Coors after that performance, dude. But yeah, no, I was gonna say too, is Brock Nelson somebody we can move on from? I think the Val Nichushkin thing is over. I think you get some money back there. Lehkonen, people were talking shit about him, but he was hurt.
Our notable free agents are Brett Kulak, Brent Burns, Jack Drury. So not really, we're going to get a lot of guys back too. So maybe they just go the running back approach. I did see today that Makar's shoulder injury could be pretty bad. They're talking like he could have to miss if he has surgery at the beginning of the season. I mean, I don't want to sit here and make excuses, but to me, it was very, very apparent that this Avs team was banged up. You saw McKinnon, neck is down. Obviously, Kel Makar. So I'm not saying they're banged up the whole series, but I think Vegas came out and, punched them in the face, and they didn't really have an answer for it. And then they got into panic mode, especially last night. You could tell they were so panicked. Like they weren't shooting. They're trying to get the perfect shot. They're making one too many passes,
which was pissing me off too.
Makar and McKinnon are trying to go superhero mode. They're playing double shifts. It's just like they got down, and maybe like sloppy. They weren't used to being in that position of being down too, which kind of hurt them a little bit too. So
very true.
I do gotta ask you though. I should know this, hand up, but was the Bednar picture at the casino? Was that real?
I think it was real. I commented and said it was the Lodge Casino because it looked like the Lodge. I don't know, for those of you who've been in Blackhawk, I'm like, I think that's the Lodge Casino. But then somebody was like, no, that's Red Rock in Vegas. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the math was mathing. Jordan, how many units did we lose yesterday? I'm like grabbing her phone, making her bet it. It's like, dude, they started so flat too, man. They really did. They started flat. I hit up my buddy Nate, see if he wants to come on, because this is a safe place, right? But yeah, I don't know what you can do. I'm down for running it back. I feel like Nuggets, I was more so like big changes needed to be made just because of the difficulty of the West. Not talking shit against the Knights, but I feel like that was a series that we were favorited in. We should have played better in. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll come out and say like, oh man, it was fucking, there's injuries or this and that. I will say the refs on that Netchus hip check yesterday, no good. Jordan saying, replay your prediction video. Yeah, you know what's funny about that video is it's getting like hundreds of likes like in every hour, and I'm like, dude, stop! I made it fucking a month ago. I know I was wrong. It's got to get deleted.
I
But
mean, Vegas is still going to be huge. I mean, I saw today like plus 160 to win the cup still. So I
yeah,
don't know why people aren't giving them the respect they need after watching them. I mean, you got a veteran team that just like their stars showed up.
put some,
Like
yeah, dude. Eichel, me and Ev
Eichel,
live bet
Stone.
Eichel Stone, which was crazy that he scored against us on that breakaway. But yeah, Mitch Marner has the most points. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool seeing him win too because he's coming from Toronto where they just gave up on him. They're like, you're not good enough to win, and then they had a shitty year. So shout out to him. But fuck, man, I think the Avs, dude, they got swept and they got dominated. Like that's why I would say that's the most surprising. Bo Nix, that was like you said, man, that was a high horse. You rarely are you going to be there. That was great. Stidham, he looked so good in the first half. So I would say like, okay. But the Avs, man, it was cup or bust. I think that one was cup or bust. The Nuggets, we were like, we could make a push, but we won't be surprised if we lost the T-Wolves, and we did. And I think the Avs, it was cup or bust. So I would say the most disappointing season of those three for me, biggest kick in the dick, was probably the Avs, man. Probably the Avs.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried too about the Avs for next season is the goalie thing. Just because, like, who do you go with? You just keep doing this. Wait till one starts
I
slowing
think it's
down, and you
clutch
go
to
the other
have.
one.
I think it's clutch to have two in the regular season. It's kind of like the NFL when you got two GOAT running backs, right? Like, but at the same time, when the game's on the line and it's 4th and 1, like, who are you gonna give it to? You know, like who's your fucking guy that's gonna take over a fucking game? I don't think it was the goalies though, dude. I
No,
thought
I'm not putting blame on them. No.
I thought Wedgwood looked fucking great yesterday, dude. He kept us in that game. To be honest with you,
Was it
Blackwood was it Blackwood? Whoever it was, you know what
Blackwood?
I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, Blackwood looked great. Wedgwood was fine. It was just our offense, man. It was just the penalty kill was fucking useless too. Our power play, would we even get sometimes a shot on goal? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could talk about the
The
Avs all
first
day.
two games, no Makar was definitely huge. That second game, we blew the lead. If we had Makar in there, we're not blowing that lead. So it is what it is. Shout out Vegas. I hope Carolina beats you. But if
Yeah, I was
Carolina
gonna
doesn't make
say.
it, then I'll be rooting for Vegas because USA's got to win it over Canada.
So Carolina's up 3-0 against Montreal. That'll put them in the series up 3-1 going into Carolina next game. But real quick, the Canadians just refused to put shots on goal. I saw they won a game. Somehow they put like 9. They have 10 tonight versus 13 for Carolina. Carolina has 3 goals, which they scored like bing, bang, boom. Sebastian Aho, appreciate you for cashing out the first goal scorer. That's my guy, by the way. Yeah, I think Carolina. Sure, I'll go with Canes. Some dude yesterday was talking to me on Twitter, talking about hey man, I'm a Canes fan. This is what happened with the Avs in my experience. You know, they just don't match up well. They match up well against fucking 30 other teams, but the Knights just know what they're doing in the playoffs. And the Knights got this like gay thing too about not going that serious in the regular season, dude. They don't, and then they
Yeah.
just turn into a fucking powerhouse. So they can beat teams in different ways. It'll be interesting to see how the West gets better, man, next year. But, you know, the Avs, was the season a flop? No. They set historical, records. So
I think the
let's run it back next year and let's just try to learn from the experience and, sign a couple vets that will not let that type of shit happen.
was it the
So not Brent Burns.
14th straight team to win the President's Cup and not make the Stanley Cup Finals too. So there's like something to that.
Yeah, we should have
Who
let Carolina
knows?
win that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should have let them. So tough. It's tough.
I'm
Don't
rocking
blow it
with
up. Don't blow it
I'm
up.
rocking with Carolina. I think they're the best team left, but God knows. Let me make a video and it'll fucking flip. Let's move on. Let's talk your motorsports real quick. So obviously, dude, very sad day. We were talking about it in the chat. If for those of you that don't know, Kyle Busch passed away, pneumonia, sepsis in his blood. Crazy to think about that he's like an athlete. You know, I know he's NASCAR, but like these guys have got to stay in shape. Eats pretty relatively well, right? He's an athlete, and it
Yeah.
could happen to anybody. So hug your loved ones. Dante, I'm not sure if you want to go in on it anymore. That was kind of like our boy, zinning it up and sponsors. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just tough because Kyle Busch was like NASCAR. Like if Ev, he doesn't know any NASCAR drivers. You have him name a driver, he's gonna say Kyle Busch. So it's just like they're losing one of their most iconic people. And you guys give me a hard time. That's my favorite driver, and I've been sticking by him even though he hasn't been doing quite as good as he was. But he literally won a race last weekend, And then after got out of the car and was like, it's special because you don't know when your last one is. 3 days later, yeah, he maybe had some pneumonia he's been battling. Like there's a clip from one of the 2 weekends ago after the race. He's like, I need a doctor to get a shot. So just like trying to tough through and power through. And, we're all dads on here. So just like seeing that this weekend was, it's supposed to be the biggest weekend in motorsports. So you got F1, IndyCar, Indy 500, the Coke 600. Like it's just prestigious. It's race fans like favorite weekend of the year. And it was totally just overshadowed by, they did a lot of Kyle Busch tributes. His family actually was there at the start of the race, and just, tragic seeing that. He's got an 11-year-old son who he's been just like grooming to be the next, to follow his steps, and they actually got to race together, and it's just super, super sad, super tragic. So good reminder of like, life's precious. So you got to make the most of it. And as sports fans, like at the end of the day, he had haters, he had drivers that didn't, that competed against him on the track, but they're all like, at the end of the day, like on the track's one thing. We hate him because he won so much. Like, we have athletes we don't like, but we still want to root for them in their personal lives and stuff. And that was like kind of the perfect example for Kyle Busch. So I'm rocking my Rowdy gear. I went out to the local track out in Colorado this weekend and watched some racing. Figured that was a good way to honor him. But yeah, it's sad. It won't be the same going forward for sure. I'm going to have to find a new favorite driver, someone to lose bets on every week. So it's just tragic.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's shitty. So this weekend, I know there was like Indy 500. I didn't get to bet on that. I did bet. So Jordan chiming in here. Retired his number for his son.
Yeah, the 8, which is really cool.
Yeah. But what else happened? Did Denny end up getting it done? Because I was on him. How did your bets go? I know it was an emotional weekend for you, so I'm not going to hold this against your I got it written down here. Overall, NASCAR, 11-32. So down 22 units, but I won't hold this one against you. That's not going to go on.
It was Indy 500. I bet 3 drivers. They're running 1-2 for the majority of the race. There was a caution. The pit strategy got all messed up.
Always.
Basically, like 5 guys got bailed out and came down to like the closest finish ever in the Indy 500. So Felix Rosenquist ended up winning that. Like photo finish, good race to watch. I felt good about that one because I had the 2 fastest guys. They were running 1-2. Like you can't do nothing about the strategy. Coke 600 rolls over. Same thing. I got money on Denny. Denny's by far the fastest car. He's leading all the laps. They're calling for rain, right? So they pit Suarez, his crew chief. Brilliant moves. Like, well, if they say it's going to rain, why are we going to pit? So they get 2 tires. Everyone else gets 4. Denny comes out literally second place. He was leading. Suarez passes everyone, takes a gamble. Boom, it starts raining. They did like a couple restarts, and then it pulled it in because of the rain, and that was the end of it. So it was like every race.
So Suarez won?
Suarez won. Denny got second.
My dude, Johnny Rock is pissed off right now.
Yeah, and like it was said, it was a total strategy call. I saw at one point someone bet 200 on him to win. They won 34,000. That's how long shot of odds he was. So again, I felt good about my Denny bet. I bet on the other 2 series, the trucks and the O'Reilly series. Both races were canceled early due to it rained all weekend in Charlotte. So just like it's a wash. It is what it is, So it was tough. The Indy 500 was a good race. But same thing, they're like rain's coming, and it ended up not raining. So rain just ruins motorsports quick. Honestly, it's the worst.
Yeah. So no coin. We'll mark you down for -3 units instead of the normal 8. That's all right though. You gotta. We'll probably get into it Friday. But what do we got for this weekend?
Racing in Nashville, concrete track. Denny Hamlin dominates on concrete. Just won the All-Star race at Dover, led like every lap. So that's where my money's going to be.
God damn it, man. You made me bet on Denny last weekend, too. You're literally like
he won
7 out of 11 weekends. Where's my boy Reddick? He'll be
Reddick will be fast this weekend, yeah.
And you know who hasn't won yet? Bubba. Did Bubba finish top 10? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't think he did.
I think that's just going to be my continuous go-to for NASCAR. Every day, parlay it with whoever the Rockies are playing, and then add the Dodgers, and then just boom, bang. Dogs eating chew toys in the back, going
Bubba
crazy.
I'm
sorry.
No, he was not top 10. It was Denny was 3rd, Bell was 2nd, Reddick was 4th, Larson 5th. On Prime, when you next flight, check out the Larson Double documentary that just came on Prime. Pretty good little documentary about him doing the Indy and the Coke 600 in one day. But he still is winless on the year. Your boy Elliott was 37th. He crashed out. Bubba 22nd. Not good enough.
Hey, Bubba's got to get this shit together, man. He's saving it for the Zen Spearmint this weekend in Nashville.
It was pretty cool. All the drivers, when they won, they got out of the car and did like Kyle Busch's famous rowdy bow. So it was cool, like how they all honored him and stuff. But it's gonna be a weird season going forward. Like,
let me ask you a shitty question, and I'm gonna get judged, but I don't know the answer for it. What happens to like his team and his car? Is it like Dante slide in here? Because like, what a fucking shitty opportunity. Because you got to think like, oh, dude, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. What a horrible opportunity that would be, right?
So in 2001, when Dale Earnhardt died, Kevin Harvick they renumbered the car from 3 to 29. Kevin Harvick he was in the lower series. They bumped him up, and we saw how that worked out for Kevin Harvick. Coincidentally, Kyle Busch drove for Richard Childress Racing, the same team Dale Earnhardt did. So this is the second time this has happened to them, which is just bizarre. They've already announced they changed the car number to 33, which is like when they run a third car, that'll be the number sometimes. And then
I always bet that number in roulette for my boy Chaunch, by the way. Side note.
There you go. They've got 2 drivers in the lower series, Austin Hill and Jesse Love, that'll probably split the rest of the season. And it's the same car. They just put a different number on it and stuff. So they haven't really put out much information. They're going to do a press conference next weekend and give out more details, they said. So, but yeah, it's just like the same guys, the same team. They're just working for a different driver now, I guess.
That's crazy, man. Next man up. Like a fucking war. Anyways, okay, so you'll have the picks coming out Friday. You're obviously going with Denny. We're going with Bubba top 10. And you'll figure out a couple other top 5s. I feel like you do better on the top 5s. Just not telling you how to bet. Just telling you.
Denny's been right there. He's first or second every week. So it's just like it's hard when he's on the top of his game like that not to bet with him. Plus, I like Denny. So Blaney, you'll be seeing a lot of Blaney these races coming up. We're starting to get to some Ford tracks. The Fords have been slow. We're going to some bigger tracks. The Fords do well on the bigger tracks. So it's
just crazy, man, how much shit I don't know about NASCAR. And you just tell me shit, and I'm like, I think you're talking alien to me. Okay, so let's move on to NBA. I'm a little bit more comfortable talking about this, even though it's fucking painful to watch. So the Spurs are fighting. We can start in the West. Spurs are fighting with OKC and the refs. Going back to San Antonio, the series is up. OKC has the series led 3-2. Not sure if you've had eyes on this series, Dante. I have been. Jordan has been falling in love with, we call him Wembenyamas or whatever. He's a freak. You love to see it. The Spurs team is so young. It is absolutely terrifying as a Nuggets fan to think about the next 5 years. Dylan Harper coming into his own. Fun fact about Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, they both played for Rutgers, and they were like one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. They played at the same time. Just phenomenal talent, crazy random Big Ten school, and they were just doo-doo. But anyways, Spurs are nasty. I think they're a couple years away, maybe 1 year away. I love the fact that they're battling with OKC. It's just impossible to beat OKC in the West and the refs. I think it's the 2 best team in the West. Wemby is phenomenal. I'm not sure if you watched game 1 when he pulled from the logo and made it in overtime. I was like, oh my God. His index fingers are just as long as my forearms. The guy's a freak. That being said, OKC's up to the same slippery shit. I think everybody's seeing it. I cannot wait, if they do win this series, for the Knicks fans to start feeling it. Because they had, right, like, Phoenix, like, nobody really, took them seriously, but they were bitching. And then you had LA, so the Lakers fans were bitching the whole time, right? San Antonio, obviously, they're feeling it now. But New York, once they start seeing this shit, bro, I know the Knicks have won a crazy amount of playoff. Dude, I think they haven't lost in like a month since the playoffs started. So
11 in a row.
3 sweeps in a row. I will say that goes to show you how bad the East was. The Cavs, man, I mean, they just have James Harden. And like he was just turning the ball over. Donovan Mitchell was trying, but the Knicks are like a deep team. Brunson's doing his thing. But, they're going to get in foul trouble, man. And it's just like OKC, I don't want to watch it, but here's a comment. The only person who wouldn't trade Joker for Wemby, hypothetically, is Gerald. 100%. Gerald fucking doesn't know ball. Comes out to do. That's Gerald. Who's the dogs barking? Who's going to be the best team, Gerald? Oh, Nuggets. Oh, yeah, swept. So did the Avs. Anyways, so I don't know, Dante. Do the Spurs, they play tomorrow night in San Antonio, do they have any chance at clawing one back and then going into OKC? Game 7's a coin toss, man.
Yeah, I think being young like that's almost an advantage because like they're kind of young and dumb. Like they don't even know that the Thunder are supposed to be this big bad team. They don't really care. Wemby. I've actually been watching a little bit of this series, and every time I flip it on, like Wemby don't care. He's not putting up with it. He's calling him out in the flopping. I saw him like give someone a shoulder, which is just like comical because he's 8 foot tall and like they're just looking at him like, what are you doing? But they don't really care. And the Spurs like is a good for them for like Pop retired. They had the reset. They had Kawhi. Like they tanked. They got Wemby, and boom, now they're back. The Thunder, they've still got first round picks, multiple for the next.
Well, they got
years.
McCain, young bull, right? I don't know if they can keep Jason Williams, but I don't think it matters. I think he's overrated. J-Dub, I think he's overrated personally. But I think OKC matches up well against the Spurs because they're experienced. SGA does know how to take over games, whether it's drive and get to the foul line. He does hit clutch shots, right? I'll give him that. But defensively, OKC is a good matchup against the Spurs because they got Chet and they got oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Sorry, somebody called me. The other center's coming in. They just physical with Wemby. They're just like, you get 4 fouls, I'll get 5 fouls, and then we'll just beat this motherfucker up. It's the strategy. Honestly, if I'm OKC, that'd be my strategy to Harkenstein, the other center. He used to play for the Knicks, coincidentally. But
they were calling him the Wemby stopper or whatever.
Yeah, well, basically, Center. He just grabs his elbow and just like elbows him in the neck, grabs his arm, pulls him down. Tries, like, let's be honest, they're trying to like hurt him. If they don't have Wemby, like they're not serious, right? But I don't know. I'm hoping these young bulls from the Spurs can keep like playing, But OKC, McCain coming in clutch. They're just so deep, dude. Their bench depth is incredible. But they also got SGA picking up points when he needs to, and then they can hack and shack fucking Wemby. So I think OKC wins the series. I'm rooting for the Spurs for sure. I do think in the next 5 years, both teams are going to be fucking elite, which is shitty for the Nuggets. On the flip side, do you think either team, do you think they cruise through the Knicks? Do you think the Knicks can fight back? Knicks arguably the hottest team in the NBA. Like you could, are they Vegas? Like look at who's playing better than than the Knicks? Like who could? I want to like them, but Stephen A. Smith, I was listening to him this morning, like before I went to work. He makes me like want to really fucking hate that team. But I fuck with Brunson. Fun fact too, the Mavs had Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson, and now they have Cooper Flag. Just crazy to think about.
I know
what a management could do. And then, but
I was thinking about that, like the Spurs and the Mavericks down the line once Flag, like Wemby versus Flag could be like generational type rivalry if they both project to what they're supposed to be. I mean, that'll be fun to watch in the future. But yeah, the Knicks, I mean, hard to say, right? They've got a lot of superstars that they can match either of these teams. Arguably, they have more superstars. Is the East bad? Are they just good? We won't know until they match up. I don't think it's going to be like I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is the Spurs Thunder, this is the finals, and definitely not. Like they play different style ball. I'm sure the Timberwolves might wish they had Cat right now. Tell you that. He's been playing great. Brunson's been awesome. So the Knicks, they're not bad to watch. Like you said, the worst part about the Knicks are just their fans, and like they get that East Coast
go New York, bias. Go New York, go New York,
yeah.
Go New York, go. That's why I low key want, like, if you want change in the NBA, let the New York Knicks fans and fucking that organization start bitching about the calls from OKC because they're not living it, bro. They're not having to deal with that. So when they have to deal with it for a 6-7 game series, it's going to be like the NBA is going to have to change what they're doing. I saw yesterday too, Jared McCain elbow the Spurs homie in the neck and then drives up at the 3-point line, stops, falls down all fours, and then gets the call. What else did I see? I saw Jalen Williams basically run into somebody on purpose, flop, get the call. I saw Chet Holmgren push Lou Dort, who's a very notoriously known cheater, and then get the foul. It's just like, are these specifically being highlighted because everybody's talking about it? Sure. Are they still really tough to watch? Yes. In my opinion, yes. I was watching the Knicks. That was also tough to watch too because they were winning by fucking 30 points. Like that was kind of uneventful too. I think the NBA's like, got to do something, man. But yeah, Evan, I know around the Knicks. I was on the T-Wolves, so I'll ride Knicks with y'all, but maybe I should root for fucking OKC, make a video.
I mean, I think I'm rooting for the Spurs if I had to pick one of the three left. It's been fun watching De'Aaron Fox, too, after like being with Sacramento forever. He's had nice little playoffs. I saw him pop up, and I'm like, good for him. I just, it's hard not to root for Wemby. SGA is like kind of a villain role for me. Like he's flopping, and we're already tired of the Thunder and their championship. And let's let Wemby get in there. But this could be a start of a dynasty for the Spurs if they keep getting better. So
If the
it's gonna be
Spurs
good.
were to sneak it out, I mean, that would be incredible to me, man. It really would be. It'd be like, wow, this young talent is such a problem, man. They could, yeah. I know they got De'Aaron Fox, but it's like he's not even really evolved into like his role yet. I don't think so. Like, and he was a killer for the Kings. So Dylan Harper, though, my God, they're fucking nasty. The Kings. Vassal is a fucking stud. Champagne, absolute killer. They're just gonna get better and better too. That's the sad part. But yeah, so that's bad news for the Nuggets. We can move on from NBA. Let's go ahead and start bullshitting about NFL breaking news. I want to jump into this just because I don't necessarily understand it. TrilloBets is stupid. TrilloBets needs help. But first, before we get into NFL, Dante, let's go ahead and play a word from one of our beautiful sponsors, my guy.
And you're muted.
And TrilloBets pulls it, Evan. Yeah, we got Weaver in the chat. Avs are dead to me like the Nuggets. I will weep until preseason football. You're fucking right. We all will. But you got Rockies baseball if you really want to start feeling really sad about yourself. Me personally, rooting for my Twins. They lost the game's not even over. It won't even end. 2-14 right now. So, we got World Cup coming, which we're going to get into after the NFL breaking news, but that's setting up for Heartbreak City too. So it's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a fun ride, man. We need the Broncos back like we need water. Anyways, Dante, let's pull some NFL breaking news. Break down the Josh Jacobs deal. What the fuck is going on and what's the latest?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm not, he turned himself in. He had charges against him, battery, damage to property, disorderly conduct, strangulation. So basically domestic violence situation, which is awful. You never want to see that. Turned himself into Brown County Jail. He was released today. No charges were formally filed. They're still investigating. So I don't really know what happened. He's adamantly denying the allegations. So he said, she said, I don't know. Who knows? Josh Jacobs, he's only 28, I think I saw. So he's a lot younger than I maybe thought off the top of my head. Obviously for the Packers, like we saw when he went out last year, they just weren't really the same. So who knows there? That's something to keep your eye on, especially for obviously the football season, but for fantasy season too. Is there going to be a suspension? Even if no charges are formally filed or whatever, the NFL could still choose to suspend him for violating their code of conduct. So definitely something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. I don't think anybody does. Again, these are scary charges and accusations. Like if he gets convicted of these, it'd be really interesting to see if he's even allowed back in the league. I would go that far and say that. So, what's going to happen? I just you just don't know. Like it automatically to me turns him into like a fantasy no-no, right? Like you're not going to be the guy that's going to draft this guy. And also like, you're not going to be the guy that's waiting for him. You know who fucking will draft this guy? I'm not going to say his name, but we both know. Sometimes he pops in on the podcast. They draft him in the 7th round, just like he drafts Rasheed Rice all the time. He's one of the co-hosts.
I do got some breaking NFL news that just dropped while we were live on here.
What do you got?
Per Adam Schefter, Von Miller says he is for sure playing another season, and he's already reached out to Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton about signing with the team. Do you want to see Von back with Denver?
We know it, man. Call me bonkers. Call me bonkers Broncos, dude. We need Von Miller. Like, fucking, we need air, man. We do. Like, let's be honest. He's going to sign for the vet minimum. He's not going to come and try to break our banks. It's literally like signing, I think he still has some plays to be made too, dude. Call me crazy. I think he can come in a big spot and make some big plays. So, yes. You're also an injury away from Benito to being really, scary at that position. I don't necessarily want to see too much Ellis out there.
Well, Ellis,
I still remember that play.
They're apparently moving Ellis to inside linebacker. He's taking reps there. That frees up, let's just say Bonito's on the sideline getting some air. Who do you want in there? DeAndre Tillman or Von Miller? Call me crazy, but give me Von. And just think about like all the knowledge Von has of like different moves. Here's what to look for. That dude knows more about football, than anyone on that team. So he could come in there and kind of do like that DeMarcus Werewolf, really mentor Bonito and Cooper and some of these young guys that we got. So I would love it. I know I didn't want Justin Simmons back there just because I felt like he had passed, but for Von Miller's position,
overrated.
Vaughn doesn't want to go in on first and second down and be a run stopper. Like, no, he's like, bro, 3rd and 11, obvious passing situation. Put me in there. I'm going to go get a sack. Like, that's what he does.
Would you think that, like, okay, so it's kind of like interesting how this is going full circle, but like DeMarcus Ware comes in, kind of teaches Vaughn the ropes, wins the Super Bowl, right? And so this is an interesting one, right? Yeah, this is facts. Weaver. I'd rather have Von Miller on the 53 instead of Lil Jordan Humphreys. Fucking 100%. Absolutely. You can name 8 other people too, but yeah, that's 100. Who's going to make more plays? Who's going to impact the game, the season more? I guarantee you Von Miller is going to go maximum fucking effort, force a fumble on a 3rd and 8 when we need it most. Where Lil Jordan Humphrey is going to drop the ball on fucking 1st and 10 and piss everybody off. So yes, I agree with that. That's exactly how Denver Nation should feel. Let me say this real quick. I'll let you go. If Broncos media, including ourselves, if Broncos country wants Von Miller back, it's like when we want to draft fucking somebody. Sean Payton does the flipperoo opposite. So we need to start telling everybody, no, fuck him. No, get him away from us. Fuck no. Then he'll sign him in on a sneaky little deal, dude. Sean Payton don't listen to us. He smokes his little bowls in the basement, draws up these insane plans, and then does opposite. You know, like that's what he does, dude. So it just makes so much sense, dude. I don't even know a Bronco fan that's ever told me a logistical reason like, actually, no, let me tell you why, development, blah, 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 blah. No, they don't. Like, nobody's ever said that. It doesn't make sense if we don't. But yeah,
he's at a position where you rotate often. I'm even thinking, and Dreamweaver shout out, I think that's our boy Jay Weaver there on the YouTube.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But I think, just imagine what he could teach Bo about like leadership, and like he's going to come and say, listen, this is what I learned from Peyton Manning. And then you're going to have a direct connection from Peyton Manning to Bo Nix through Von Miller. Like it's just, I think it's time. I think he's spent his time away to where like if he comes back in, it's not going to be weird. Like, oh, is this his team or who's like, no, this is Bo's team. Von can come on it and he can lead the defense, but like in a different kind of leadership role where it's like when he was Super Bowl 50, he was leading it because he was the dog and he was the playmaker. Now he's going to lead it from like the DeMarcus Ware role. So I would love it. I'd get a jersey before the ink was even dry in the contract. I saw like some.
Do you not have a Vaughn?
I do have a Vaughn 58, but I think he was saying he wanted to come back and wear 24 for champ or maybe 40. So he wanted to like wear a different number apparently.
That's fucking hot.
And it's the old orange, so I need a new jersey. I mean, I'd have 4 Vaughn jerseys, but
that's the thing too. I'm sure the Broncos are like, hey, bro, we can't bring you back at 58 because we're not making any money. Yeah. Like it's all about money. If you do come back, you got to have like some berserker random number because dude, it's gonna be millions of sales, bro.
And just think about like if he came back too, just like all the Super Bowl stuff, we're in the playoffs again. Like this isn't like we feel bad for him, let's let him end his career in Denver. It's like no. He said multiple times like his whole goal, he wants to be an NFL GM. Who better learn from him than George Payton? That they just re-signed him to a multi-year contract. He's been, say what you want, he's swinging some misses on the Russ stuff, but at the end of the day, Payton's a great GM, and if Vaughn wants to learn, who better to learn from than Sean and George Payton? So
yeah, I will say real quick about Von Miller too. Do you know his chicken farm or whatever is like selling to like Tyson Chicken? Like,
he's got a huge chicken
farm.
Dude,
I think that chicken farm shit, like, that's what makes me think like, bro, why aren't you just in Cabo? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, because he wants to come back. My God, bro, help a brother out and just bring him back here. Yeah, he was pushing for it at the Broncos reunion charity event. I don't know, dude. I mean, it's like sometimes when the answer's so right there in front of you, if you miss it,
tell you what, I will be pissed off if I see we sign Cam Jordan over Von Miller.
Really?
Because I just, they're this to me.
Both?
Yeah, why not both?
Are you shotgunning a beer if we sign both?
I'm doing 2 buzzballs.
2 buzzballs. You heard it here first.
I'm doing 2 buzzballs if the big ones. Yeah. The big ones. Ones. Shout out! I don't have to drink my big buzzball because the Nuggets. I got out of that one.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Barely. Okay, so let's talk a little college football. Before that, I want to talk college. Did you see Michigan State? What's that? Forsberg got to come back to the Avs and end his career after living. Yeah, Vom just said the same, 100%. But let's. I want to know if you saw this. I saw there was like trustee conflicts. Michigan State president leaves for Clemson. Not sure what you know about this. I wanted to run it by you. I didn't do any research. I saw trustee conflicts. I don't think it impacts the men's college basketball team. And let's be honest, the college football team, decades away. But is there anything in that you saw that you know? What is it going to impact for my boys coming March Madness next year?
For this college stuff is just it's so hard to follow, and there's so much money with the NIL, and I saw like they're trying to pass laws to prevent some of this stuff. You see schools like these high end people leaving schools strictly because they're like, oh, I can get this much NIL to use at this school. I can go over here and get this much. Or schools like, dang, look what this guy did with this little bit of money. Imagine what we could do with our budget. So yeah, it's hard to watch. The basketball, they're expanding the tournament. Football, they're in pretty heavy discussions to go from to at least a 16 team field too. So money, 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 money is ruining college
Mm-hmm.
sports. I really hate to see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think it's too much, man. I will say I am worried the day when Izzo decides to leave. Like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Jeremy Fears, by the way, the GOAT of a point guard. Real quick, this is a random NBA college basketball fact. This motherfucker might get drafted in the second round. So if he does, my fuck me, dude. We are fucked. We signed this 7-2 guy, which is great because we needed help down low. But dude, if Jeremy Fears leaves, I mean, he's potentially going to drop us from being top 5 preseason rank to fucking 30th. So you hate to root against somebody you love. Can you just not be drafted? You know, like NBA draft night's going to be crazy. We're going to
Yeah.
do a live episode, by the way, because this is the best NBA draft I think I've ever seen talent wise. But God damn it. If I hear Jeremy Fears' name on day 2, I'm going to fucking throw up. There's a chance that he might just work out and say no and come back, which I'm waiting for that tweet. But Christ, dude, that's panic mode because it'll be after the NIL window. Like that window's over. The freshman recruiting class, obviously, like who the fuck's going to come in and make an impact like that? So we lost Jason Richardson last year, although he was a first rounder, like everybody knew it, and he decided to go. Is that because of like this fucking president not dishing out the coin? How much would you have to give Jeremy Fears to stay that you're spending elsewhere? I don't know. But you're right though. It's just like it adds like a dynamic that's not really that interesting. It's more so inconvenient. But speaking of college football, Texas Tech Brandon Sorsby denied reinstatement by NCAA. Okay, so this guy literally is doing the same thing that I'm doing. He's just ripping bets at a higher volume, I will say. But god damn it, bro. Like, is he betting on himself and then throwing a pick 6 subconsciously? This goes to the same thing as, is Floyd Mayweather allowed to bet on himself when he boxes somebody? As long as he's putting money on himself, it's not like round 4. It's not the over. It's not the under. It's not by knockout. It's not by points. It's money line. Why the fuck does that matter? If this guy wants to put 100K on Texas Tech to win the national championship and he plays for them, what? Who the fuck? Why?
So
Now,
he was betting on himself at Indiana when he wasn't even playing, but he said like, oh, it actually made me feel like I was more a part of the team. Like I had more skin in the game. Just comical, but it's just like to me, it's not about the betting. It's just more of an IQ test. You know, like we all have jobs. There's just certain things that are jobs you can't do. That's an IQ test. You know, and to me, it's like you failed that IQ test, buddy. You know, Texas Tech. I feel bad for them because they spent literally $3 million on him, which another little side note here. Have you seen the softball stuff going on with Texas Tech and Florida?
so I did see Jason Williams say he'll never step foot on Gainesville. So his daughter played for Florida, went to Texas Tech. They started booing him, basically.
It's
Booing her,
because
hitting
Texas
her.
Tech is just throwing they have the most expensive ever in
Yeah,
history like softball
I
team.
know.
They're just throwing money, all this oil money, this Landman dude. If you ever seen the show Landman, it's literally based
Yeah.
off this dude who's like a real life guy for Texas Tech that can just and you know what? Fuck Texas Tech because I hate these schools that can just go throw this money around and think that they're some hot shit. It's like, you know what? Good. I'm glad you just spent $3 million on a quarterback who can't play. You should have done a little bit of homework on the dude who apparently like Cincinnati knew about it and they swept it under the rug and then he
Yeah.
left and they're like, oh, actually, hey,
Thank
which
God for them, though, dude, because they wouldn't have been able to financially recover from that.
but yeah,
Cincinnati.
seriously. Oh no,
You
they
know?
decided, yeah.
They get all their money from the Kelsey brothers, bro. That's like
Another
where their money comes from.
hilarious thing. So in college football, there's a spring transfer portal window, which is going to be happening here soon, I believe. People are saying Dylan Raiola wanted to go to Texas Tech, obviously because he, Patrick Mahomes wannabe. He would love nothing more to go to fucking Lubbock and pretend to be
He
Patrick
would.
Mahomes there. They're
Yeah.
saying watch out for him. He could leave Oregon to go to Texas Tech because now they don't have a quarterback, which would just be hilarious. I would love to see that.
Yeah. I don't think you would actually love to see that. Mel in Denver. Hey, shout out to you, Mel. You've been around with us, man, for majority of this Avs season. Want to give you a big shout out for always hopping in the comments. Aiko outplayed McKinnon. Mel, you know better than us. Netchus got outplayed. I thought Landeskog played fine, but like Mel, I'm sure we could talk for days. We were talking about it earlier. But yeah, our stars didn't show up. That's a fact. But yeah, getting back to the college football nonsense that is the NIL. We'll see. I'd be surprised if your cousin doesn't go there. I'll just say that. Raiola.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes is like, here's a headband that I wore,
Hey,
and he uses it. He sleeps with it.
CU's looking sneaky. I was
Don't.
watching some
We're not doing
OTAs.
that. We're not doing that this podcast. Let's play another word from our sponsors. Talk a little baseball before we get into the World Cup. USA. So, just quick summary of our current buzzball bets. We basically have a buzzball bet for the podcast that the Twins will have a better record than the Rockies. Two horrible teams. I will say the Twins have won. Well, going into today, 4 out of 5. They're currently in the playoffs, Dante. If the season was to end right now as a wild card team, they lost 2-15 against the White Sox, who was literally giving you shit off air because the Rockies got obliterated yesterday by the Dodgers. Rockies currently one of the biggest underdogs live tonight against the Dodgers. I thought Ohtani was pitching. I'm pretty sure he is, although the Rockies tried to hit him in the hand yesterday. We did place a bet on the Rockies because we are D-Gens, and that's what we do here. Should have wore the Rockies jersey. Dante, I'll have boots on ground Saturday. Everybody's all gung-ho about this Rockies team. 20-36, it is better than last year, I guess. Not sure how much you've been tuning into baseball. I did want to tune you into how I'm doing in baseball. I'm killing it. If you guys aren't
Yeah, you are.
following Trillo Bets, I'm producing 5. I say 5 to 7. Typically, it's 7 bets every day. Statistically, all time 69-49-1. Yesterday, 5-2. Dante, I'm 5-0 tonight. 2 games left. Dodgers -1.5 is one of them. It's a coin printing machine, and I just want you guys to make sure that there's not a lot of shit to watch. Go ahead, put a $5 on each of these games. Trillo Bets is going to produce them for you. Just put a $5. Set your phone down. Tune into a game. Usually, it's beneficial.
Don't talk smack about my Rockies, dude. Yeah, it's been fun watching the Rockies just because they're at least a little bit more competitive. I mean, 20-36, that's a funny thing to say, but we're only 2 games behind the Giants. I've been hate
Hold up,
watching.
bonkers. If the spread was 4.5 for tonight's game, I think I would take the Dodgers -4.5. We might have to do like a $10 Venmo bet, bonkers. If you're listening, it just started, top of the first. I would literally bet -4.5. You let me know, bonkers. I'll buy you a couple beers. We could do like a couple beers, a bet.
A
But yeah,
couple
sorry,
couple
Dante, go
beers
ahead.
at Coors Fields running $35, which is crazy.
Not if you show up to the rooftop early, which is what the strategy is for me and my work squad. Saturday, we're going to the game. I'm like, hey, the game starts at 7:10. If you guys are smart, you'll be there at fucking 5:30 because you get $2 beers. $2 beers.
Who they
And you
playing?
just they're playing the San Francisco Giants, also a doo-doo team. So we're gonna cook up a same game parlay Friday night that we're gonna rip the next day. But if yeah, so
Do a solid bet. Mickey Moniak to homer. He's our best deep ball guy.
I was thinking about Rafael Devers from San
No,
Francisco. Actually, I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
the thing that's tough with the Rockies is just the pitching. Always has been, always will be. So it's like, but the offense has been a little better. They're just fun to watch because Jeff Goodman, the announcer, like he's the goat. Like you could just, they're perfect to throw on the background. You don't got to pay attention. You hear Goodman talking. We got, Charlie Condon's raking in the minors. Holiday's been raking in the minors. So could be worse. Could be worse. Could be better. I have been watching just a little bit of MLB in general, though. Athletics kind of been sneaky this year. I've won some bets on them.
I think the A's, real quick about them, are playing this as like really smart, right? So they lost 9-1 today, but they know they're moving to Vegas, so they're just keeping this young talent like
Yeah.
years, and they're gonna develop pitching, but dude, they got a nice young explosive offense, and they're gonna bring that to Vegas and then spend the coin on some free agents. And I think that in a couple years when that stadium's done, like, dude, when you're in Vegas, like, you're gonna go catch a game. Like, if there's something to do,
Yeah.
like, it's everybody goes and checks out a baseball game, man. I went to that Cardinals game. I had a fucking blast.
What?
So I think that the Sacramento A's or whatever the fuck they are, I like that you bet on them, but they're like inconsistent. But they have a really young core, and it's really promising for their new future.
I like the A's because they're young core, and I like the Orioles because of their young, like Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday. They're fun to watch. They're not there yet. I know we should be Yankees fan. That's our heritage as Yankees fans, right? But just I cannot get on board with the Yankees for whatever reason. I've been trying to hit on some homers I need to ask you, what's up with your guy Big Dumper Cal Raleigh? Have you seen where he's at this year batting 161? He only got 7 home runs. Just he did that
Yeah.
funny little I'm not gonna shake hand with my teammate business in the World Baseball Classic, and then has been dog shit ever since. So a little
Yeah.
karma.
I think it's impacting the Mariners too because Julio Rodriguez is having such a good year. Jamal Crawford is as well. They paid to keep Josh Naylor. They won 9-1 today, but I think the Mariners have been somewhat of a surprise. I think there's a couple teams. So it's still early. Obviously
Yeah, so early.
we kind of talked about like the teams that have really jumped out and current like when we did it, the Cubs won 8 straight or 10 straight. And then they lost 8 straight just recently. So it's still super duper early. I would say the Mariners expected to be better than where they're at. It's still very easy for them to achieve. I think the Tampa Bay Rays has to be the biggest surprise. They lost 2 straight. They're 34-19. They're currently leading the AL East by 3.5 games, which is just fucking crazy. Because, Boston, you could say people were like expecting better from them. I wasn't. But, Braves, Rays, Yankees look really good, and like Garrett Cole just pitched today. That was the freest fucking bet of all time tonight, too. By the way, Bonkers didn't take the bet up because he saw Ohtani was pitching. But the Mets have been horseshit. They're a surprise. I think the biggest surprise to me, though, man, and I'll be honest with you, is the Arizona Diamondbacks. 7 games above 500. Sneaky in this tough NL West. Contrary, a lot of people thought the Giants would be better. D-backs playing good ball. Easy breezy money. If you ever need somebody to squeeze in an RBI parlay, Marte, stud. So if you were to ask me who does TrilloBets think's gonna, I would like to see a Yankees Dodgers finals. Let's go. I think that'd be explosive.
That'd be good. The Yankees are definitely due. You'd like to see them kind of put it all together. Schitler, whatever their pitcher, he's actually having a great. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball right now.
So the Yankees pitchers are actually more consistent than their offense, which is just crazy to think about.
My number one hate watch is the Diamondbacks. I cannot stand the Diamondbacks. I've never liked them. Nolan Arenado, can't stand the guy. All he does is cry and moan. So I'm an avid Diamondbacks. I'd rather root for the Dodgers than the Diamondbacks, tell you that.
So another
and the Brewers are my other team I can't stand.
Oh, the Brewers are really good too, man. I like the Brewers a lot too. So one team that I love seeing fail this year is the Detroit Tigers. The Scooble nonsense, speaking of the baseball, and they're 22-34. They're last in the AL Central. So the Guardians are first, White Sox are second, Twins third in that shitty division. So it's still open. I like to try to root against the Nationals today. I did bet on them to win. They have one of my favorite players, Jose. And it's still super early, man. But I do like the Phillies started off really bad too. I will say they're 29-27. They snuck out a win today. The Padres are going to be tough, but NL, is there a team that's going to be able to beat the fucking Dodgers? Like, let's just.
I think the Braves. The Braves have. If you look at their roster, top to bottom, they have a solid roster.
They they lost 8-0 today against the Red Sox after cashing out a monster same game parlay yesterday. Another lock that TrilloBets likes to do. Matt Olson RBIs. Just open your computer, place the bet. It's plus 130 like every day. Close the computer, walk away, win yourself, however much you want to put on it. Byron Buxton's still hot for my Twins. Uncle Fed, shout out to the GOAT, texted me, are you going to come out for a game? Yes. Fuck yeah. I just want them to stay with I don't know what I want from the Twins, Dante. What do I want? Do I want them to do good and then trade Buxton? They have to be really good to not trade him. But I think they'll get crazy value for him for like the Yankees, like somebody's going to trade for him.
Yeah, so. the Twins are in a weird spot. The Central's wide. There's a few divisions that are just completely wide open. The AL Central's one of the AL West. It's pretty close right now.
In the NL too, you have Cubs, Pirates.
Central's division is crazy. Yeah,
Brewers, Cardinals. Yeah, that's going to be. A lot
the Pirates are sitting last in the division. They're 29-27. They're above 500. Same with the Cubs are right. The Pirates, like watching Skeens. He hasn't really been, dominant shutout this year, which has been kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, not as dominant, but they're going to be fine. I still think the Pirates might be a couple bats away. I could see them trying to be buyers. If Buxton were to move, I'd want him to go to Pittsburgh for the record.
Yeah, I can get behind the Pirates.
I know you can. All right, so let's close out with some USA men's soccer. So World Cup team got announced yesterday. A lot of people talking shit. TrilloBets has got your soccer back, man. I call it soccer just because I know a lot of the fans won't consider it as football. So, one thing you got to know about this World Cup is that the heavy favorites are stacked up top. So, France, Spain, Portugal, like England, I fade England. But is the US going to be able to compete with these France, Spain, Brazil type teams? And I'm going to just to let you know, no, nope, we're not. However, can we make the quarterfinals and maybe make a push in LA and maybe pull an upset against Argentina? No. Anyways, let's talk about this team. So Dante announced it. Matt Turner is going to be your goalie. That's fine. You got Serginho Dest, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream. He's fucking as old as my dad. Miles Robinson, Anthony Robinson. Pulisic, obviously, is Captain America. Dante. I think that this team, I'll get into it, will go as far as he takes us. Tyler Adams, Weston McKenzie, Christian Roldan, Gio Reyna, who was a kind of a surprising make because he's had a very crazy out of the field, I think I would call it. Like out of field. Anyways, he's just had a lot of shit going on. So is this team good enough? I would say yes. This question for me is going to be midfield. Dante, midfield for soccer is like your quarterback. They're constantly yelling at their forwards, which would be your offense, and your defensive players as like your defense, right? So Tyler Adams, I fuck with him heavy. Weston McKennie, he plays for Juventus, almost got his fucking jersey. I love that guy. I'm worried about the depth there because I don't like Brendan Aronson. Christian Roldan's nice. He plays for Seattle. But like, who's the dog in the midfield? It's Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie. These guys are notoriously known for picking up yellows. You have to be physical in that midfield because like you can't let the ball go past you, right? So you could pick up second yellows and you could be suspended. I think that this team basically goes as far as Christian Pulisic takes us. I don't necessarily love the forwards. Timothy Weah plays for Marseille. Zendejas plays for Club America. Liga MX just ended last weekend. Gio Reyna. We did leave out Diego Luna. So am I pumped up, Dante? Here's the thing is like everybody talks shit about, the USA only has MLS teams. Let me break it down for you. We have 8 MLS players, which makes sense because we're a United States team. We have 5 people in the English Premier League, 3 people in League One, which is France, 2 people in Italy, 2 people in Netherlands, and 1 person in La Liga, 1 person in Mexico, 1 person in the Scottish Premier League, a bunch of other players in smaller leagues. So I think this team is good enough to advance. I just don't see this team honestly matching up against the powerhouses of Spain, Portugal. I mean, we got blown up by Netherlands last World Cup. If we were to match up against them, I would like that, but it's just a lot of scary stuff. France, Spain, England, Argentina, Brazil. Fuck, man. I mean, we didn't look good in the Copa America, which scares me. However, I think this roster is exactly what I would have done with it. Dante, Christian Pulisic jersey would be the pull if you're going to get one. I'm waiting to build a little bit more coin in the Fanatics account and pulling the trigger. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the approach, and I'm gonna go in open minded and see who like earns a jersey. You know what I mean? Like who's gonna go out there and make a name for themselves. And I saw the commercial that's been playing, and they're like, "Oh, the USA could win the World Cup." Like, well, you don't believe in miracles because like we're kind of a laughing stock when it comes to soccer when compared to other countries. So I just need someone to step up, make a name for themselves, make a run. Really, for me, I'm looking for, can you get out of your group? That's going to be a win for me. Can you get to the tournament seeding? If you can do that, maybe win a game. I'm not crazy. I know we're not winning it all. I know we don't have some of the star power, France, some of these other teams, but just give us something to be excited about, something to watch this summer, something to invest our time in, and just like, who knows, one good run from this USA team could spark generations of soccer for our country because like kids want to watch winners. When we get bounced, was it the last World Cup we didn't even make it? Am I wrong?
No, we made it, but who did we lose to last World Cup?
Was
We
the
lost to
Olympics we
Netherlands.
didn't make?
We lost.
Something we didn't even make the freaking, yeah, it's just,
We lost to Netherlands in the round after group stage. So shout out. I know Bonkers is a big football guy. He's got 10 jerseys, 12 scarves. Bonkers, we're definitely meeting up at the Celtic downtown for a USA game, bud. Pulisic jersey, if that's the new one. I saw one of those Sunday. I might have to pull the trigger. The red white one with the flags in the front. So like you're talking about like let's win the group and be. You don't have to win the group to advance. It does help your seeding, which I think is going to be fucking critical because if you don't win your group, it's 4 teams. The top 2 teams advance. If you're a 2 in your group, then you play a 1 in a different group, which is like setting yourself up for, fucking a good team. Spain, France, it's all by goal differential. Argentina, Messi basically, by the way, if you guys are following MLS at all, he got subbed out of a game because Argentina made a phone call, which was funny. But another team I like too, based off of group stages, man, TrilloBets is a huge Mexico fan. I love the pace that they're on. They're trending in the right direction. I love their group. I think they can advance. I think Germany could take out a big team, or Mexico could take out a big team like Germany. I think if they played Brazil, it would be catastrophic. But if they played a Morocco, who was like kind of the World Cup heroes 4 years ago, making it to the semifinals, But let's just break down, and I'm going to break down these groups, but we got a couple minutes left. USA group, right? You have Australia, Paraguay, Turkey, and USA. So USA opens the World Cup playing against Paraguay. That to me is a 60-40 game, Dante. I think that the South American Paraguay's team is a little bit tougher competition. They're used to playing Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, obviously fucking Argentina. So I think that if we tie that game, it'll be okay. Obviously, you don't want to start and lose. But I think that's a good start. Now, people are thinking Australia is shit. By the way, they're wagging a bet on over 2.5 every time they play. And Turkey, by the way, is all of these teams are very, very, very well even. You look at other groups like Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast. I don't like that at all. If we were going to be in that group, I think we'd get fucked. Japan, Netherlands, Sweden, Tunisia, Belgium, Egypt. These are teams that are tough. They're tough. Spain, Uruguay. That's a tough group. There's no technically pool of death, in my opinion. There's always one. I haven't been able to find one except for Croatia, England, Ghana, and Panama. But that's just because I know England are frauds. I like our chances advancing from this group. To win it is only plus 125. I like us to advance. I will say, I don't think we go out and I think it comes down to the Turkey game. And I think we'll have to either tie or win. And I think we sneak out with the tie against Turkey to advance. And I think we will be the team that wins the group. But man, I like this lineup. I'm worried in the midfield, but at the same time, those are our 2 dogs. Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie. If they play bad and Pulisic plays bad, then we're not going to even win one game. But we got dogs up front. We got defenders that are experienced. This team was the golden generation team. Fucking 10 years ago, they identified this talent and they knew that they were going to be good. They had experience last World Cup. They tied against England in the World Cup 0-0, which was a crazy result. Now you have 4 years of experience. You lose to Netherlands. Now I think it's quarterfinals or bust. But dude, if you make it out of the group and you're playing against Brazil, or you're playing against Spain, or you're playing against Argentina, you're playing against Portugal, I'm sorry. I don't think that we're there personally. So to win the cup, no fucking way. I'll just say that.
I've been listening to you. I'm looking at the groups here. I'm on DraftKings. What can I bet on? I think we're going to have to cook up a very strategic and solid group winner parlay. I'm seeing a lot of heavy favorites and then some others that are closer. You don't want to pick the favorites every single one, but you're telling me France, Argentina, they're not going to win their groups. England's a huge favorite. So there's going to be some upsets. Well, you tell me. Is there going to be upsets? Is there going to be anything could happen? Or is the group play going to be kind of more, the favorites are going to emerge and then the upsets could happen when we get to the tournament play?
No, I think it's going to be very heavy, favorite heavy. I think the question is going to be in these, group, can we identify some sleepers in Group A, as in Mexico? The odds are going to be really good for Mexico to come out of that as the champs. Group B, Canada, Switzerland, to me advance. You could bet that you'll get plus money. Bosnia Herzegovina, okay. Qatar, no way. But you got to be sneaky. And I think Group D with USA's you could bet Paraguay, man, and they could advance. Honestly.
What about Australia plus 750?
They could advance too, to win the group. No, I see more locks. I think Group F, Netherlands is a fucking lock. Belgium's going to be interesting. If you wanted to experiment there, you could put Egypt, Mohamed Salah. Egypt's been okay in the African Cup of Nations has always competed. Spain, Uruguay. I know those two teams are going to advance. Group France, Norway, Senegal. If you want to be creative, throw Senegal in there. I love Senegal. I think they're the best African team, but they just don't produce whenever it matters. Argentina is going to cruise in their group. You look at this, you're like Portugal, Colombia. Take a chance and bet Colombia. Croatia, England, Ghana. Like, okay, Croatia shows up for the World Cup, man. They do. I'm actually hoping Croatia takes second in their group and we could play Croatia. Although I might be fucked. They made the finals. They lost to France, 8 years ago? So it's going to be fireworks, man. I'll be producing these winners out of each group with like a short little 2-minute video. But Dante, is there another team that you're going to try to root for besides USA? Like, are you going to commit, or do I need you to like find a plus 1100 that I think you should stand behind? Because I got one off the top.
To win it all, I mean, the team that I kind of rock with is Netherlands. I just like watching them the way they've played from what I've seen. France, I do like France, but you can't root for the favorite. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of look to them. They're a contender for sure, but they're not like an overwhelming favorite. Is that a crazy pick?
So France is just interesting. So Spain, now just a real quick summary of the favorites. So Spain, really young, really explosive. They cruised through the Euros, which is the championship of the European teams, where France and England were in, right? And France has Mbappe, who much consider he's the best player in the world. They also have Dembele, who has a huge game Saturday. Arsenal versus PSG. PSG were the champs of the Champions League. If you're not doing anything Saturday at 1 o'clock, tune the fuck in. It's going to be explosive. It's the Champions League. It has more viewers than the Super Bowl every year, Dante. So France is known for having two teams that are better than other countries, one like first team. So Their B team is so young and advanced in talent, but I don't think they have the defensive capabilities that they used to. England, I'm going to let you know, England's a fraud. They're frauds. They're the San Diego Chargers of the NFL. That's who England is. Brazil has crazy amounts of talent. They're bringing Neymar in. I would love for Brazil to make a deep push, but they don't have the defensive back that they need to. Marquinhos is great, but I think they got a little bit. I mean, they got great goaltending. Sure, I could hear arguments for Brazil. Argentina, the only reason why they're in it is because they're great and they have Messi. Like, Argentina is not a team that I want USA to play coming out of the group stages. But I'm going to let you know why Portugal's going to win it.
The whole thing.
They have the midfielders. Vitinha is an absolute game changer. He's one of the best players in the world. They have Bruno Fernandes, who I fucking hate, but he's a baller. They have Ruben Diaz at back. So think soccer as a defense, right? You need a good nose tackle, a good linebacker, and a good safety. They do. They have explosive players who I would say, like, on the outside are going to create weapons. Like Ronaldo, as old as he is, he's fucking going to score goals. João Felix is kind of the younger version of him who never found a place. These guys have all played together for fucking 16 years. I got Portugal plus 1100 to win it. I think that's a team where if Ronaldo could win a World Cup, you saw Argentina do it 4 years ago. It's more difficult than winning a Super Bowl, I'll say that. But I think Ronaldo finally gets it done. TrilloBet's pick to win the World Cup is going to be Portugal. Dante, plus 1100. I know it's not sexy, but there's 6 favorites. I'm going to give you the 6th one as a good bet.
Yeah, so Portugal plus 1100, Netherlands plus 2200. I like those picks for us. Little coin to be made. I wouldn't be mad if France won it all, just because I like their squad. They're fun to watch. What do you think about this? I'm on DraftKings. They have like the featured parlays or whatever. Mm-hmm. The host nation parlay. So you got USA, Canada, and Mexico to win their groups. Canada's the only one that's not the favorite of their group. I think Switzerland is.
Yeah, Switzerland's elite. Yeah, I like it. What are the odds?
Plus 1274.
I think it could be steeper. Plus 2,000, you would have had my ear ringing. But yeah, Switzerland's good, but they're also getting a little older too. Xhaka's still running around. So yeah, sure. It's worth a $5, I think.
I like it. I might. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see some of the bets you come up with here. Of course, I'll be blind betting USA. Don't care who they're playing. Don't care what the odds are. I will be betting on them. It's my patriotic duty. It's going to be fun to watch. I think it's been cool that it's in the United States. I'm seeing like these stadiums getting ready and they're ripping out the football fields and putting soccer fields in. as far as like the the real grass. And it's kind of funny. They're like, hey, NFL players, you guys can play on this shit turf, but when these soccer guys come over here, we're actually need some real grass for them, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, you couldn't do that for your own guys. But like, another thing that's kind of interesting is like Hard Rock Stadium, Miami. No, we don't say sponsor names. That's Miami Stadium. SoFi, no, it's LA Stadium. Like, they're taking away the corporate sponsors. It's cool too because the games are gonna actually be at like watchable times for us versus in the past. It's like you're waking up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday to watch USA play soccer. It's like, no, we can watch them at
And I
regular
still was,
time.
by the way. And I
I
still
know.
was. I remember when Mexico beat Germany 1-0. After Germany won the World Cup, I was at work and I left work after. Like, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go and experience this shit. And dude, every bar
I gotta
in
go get a
Denver,
Corona.
every bar in Denver was absolutely, it's scenes, man. It's like, it's really fun to get into. So there are some friendlies and you got to tune in. So there's friendlies in the next couple weeks. You got to tune in and see how these players are like playing. Pochettino's our coach for USA. This guy is an experienced coach. Dante, I'd compare him to Sean Payton. He's not well liked or along like, but he's respected because he produces results. He's taken this team to like non-competitive worldwide to that's the standard, which I fuck with, right? Like Rex Ryan always said, like, I don't want to be the team that, like, well, you got, no, fuck that. I want to set the bar. Like, we know we're going to beat you. We beat you, and we're going to let you know that we beat you. But 16 days away, Dante, from the World Cup, can you even fucking imagine, man?
It's gonna be. I think we need to get a crew talk watch party on the books. Me, you, and Ev get together.
100%.
You can teach
Bonker
us.
says he wants to come through. How's Chile looking this year? I don't think Chile made it, big dog. Chile is no longer in it. Chile was an explosive team like 10 years ago. They're not in it. I think they got
They need
snubbed
to up my
by,
jersey game.
yeah. Yep. I got the Mexico new one just because that jersey's just sexy, but there's always new jerseys, dude. It's so hard.
Did
Like in
you
soccer, it's
see the
impossible to keep up.
France's jersey? It's like it's an ode to the Statue of Liberty. It's like kind of copper green. It's
Yeah.
pretty sweet looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
USA, do you like their jerseys? They got the stars and
I
the
like
stripes
yeah.
one.
I saw the stripes one at this golf tournament, and yes, I was like, I need it. Now my question is am I gonna get a Pulisic one? I don't know. Birthday's June 11th. Going to Blackhawk. Mexico plays at 1 o'clock against South Africa. South Korea and Czechia play. Friday is gonna be USA Paraguay 7 p.m. I mean, my God, what are we even gonna do Friday night at 7 p.m. other than just sit here and watch it as a group? That's what we
And
got to do.
that weekend's gonna be crazy because you got the UFC is at their International Fight Week. I think that's the McGregor fights that weekend too. I saw like
It is Saturday, so there's 4 World Cup games.
Yeah.
Qatar, Switzerland, Brazil, Morocco, which is going to be a banger. Australia, Turkey, Haiti, Scotland. Like, dude, I will watch every one of these fucking games just because it's like, when is Haiti going to play Scotland? Like,
Right.
like that's like once in our lifetimes, that you're watching that. And then the styles are so unique. Like, you won't see as much flopping in this World Cup group stages because it's maximum effort from these guys. Like they take it personally when the jersey is on their, like their bodies. Like Haiti, that's not a team that always makes the World Cup. They're gonna go maximum effort out there. They're gonna lose fucking 4-1. But like the person that scores for Haiti will remember that for the rest of his life in that country, and everybody will know when he shows up. So, like, I remember South Africa scoring the first goal for that country in a World Cup. They had a dance. Nobody knew they were down 3-1. They didn't give a fuck. Like, it's that to these people. So when France plays Portugal, when Argentina plays Brazil, you're going to see floppy dick around shit. But that's in the semifinals. That's just how soccer is. But group stages, man, tune in. When Iran plays fucking who knows who, like, Iran's got a lot of shit going on. Like, I'm really interested to see how they do. Like, it's going to be fun when they play New Zealand. Like, what do those two fucking countries have in common? But Iran plays Egypt. That's going to be a very emotional game, for the whole fucking Middle East. Belgium plays them both. They're going to blow them out by fucking 8. Like, it's just like crazy how these games are going to go. And I'm fucking here for it. I want to one day take the whole fucking month and a half off and cruise around and just watch some of these games. This was supposed to be the year, but the podcast ain't bumping as much as we thought it would.
I think it's also perfect timing because we had a great World Baseball Classic. We had the Olympics hockey. Like, I think like these, it's just perfect timing with like everyone's invested in their countries. Like you said, it's almost hard as a USA fan because, like for what this is to most of us is a freaking tenth of what it is to most of these other countries. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is live or die. Like this is, we grew up pretending to be playing in the Super Bowl. These kids grew up pretending to play in the World Cup. Like this is everything to them. So it's cool to be able to see that on in our home country. I just hope like I said, USA doesn't go out and embarrass themselves and they actually give us something we can root for. I'm glad we got. And if you're not tuned into Crew Talk and to our TikTok, our YouTube, we're posting these videos, and I don't really know what you're doing because TrilloBets is going to get us right for this World Cup. I mean, you watch soccer more than anyone I know. You got all these dudes, so it's time to put that to the test. All right, it's time to back it up because let me
Yeah,
tell you, if
I was
your
gonna
bets
say.
are shit, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing watching all this soccer to lose these
I
bets?
was gonna say, like, I think financially, soccer is actually my most profitable. I'm looking at my overall like percentages here. So, like, the NFL, obviously, I'm just ripping so many parlays, it's like hard to calculate. But soccer overall in the last 30 days, 45 and 30, dude. I'm gonna be ripping a huge bet Saturday, which I want to get into Friday for the Champions League. But yeah, man, World Cup. Well, I'll be producing winners, dude. I'll be producing winners. The only thing is are the odds gonna let us bet? Are we gonna have to lay down a lot of juice when Spain plays Saudi Arabia? We gotta find the -1 and hope they win by 2. That's gonna be the difference, is finding the odds.
And
I've seen soccer riots in South America. They mean business. Bonkers, get down to Denver Thursday if you can for the Mexico game that opens the World Cup. I swear to God, you're going to see nothing like that. That game's at El Azteca in Mexico City. South Africa has no fucking idea what they're even walking into. That's going to be they're trying to say that there's going to be 70,000. The crazy thing about El Azteca is they have bleachers instead of seats, and it's Mexico. Like, is there more corrupt government? They're going to have 120,000 people there. The most they've had is like 115, but they just tell people like, oh, it can fit 70, 75. MetLife holds the most. No, Monterrey Stadium in Mexico, that's going to have 85,000. They're not going to be able to control it down there, and it's going to be fun as fuck to watch, man. It's going to be super fun. I really wish Italy was in it, Dante. That'd give us 3 legs in
yes,
this fucking thing. I always like rooting for Mexico, Italy, obviously USA. But Italy, I mean, you look at some of these teams, Panama, fucking Democratic Republic of the Congo. How the fuck do you not make it? But, talk about letdowns. It's kind of our thing.
not to pat ourselves on the back too much. We don't do that around here, but what other podcast are you going to listen to where you're going to get an in-depth analysis on NASCAR, every sport in between down to soccer? I mean, seriously, if you're not tuning in, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, like what the fuck is he doing? Bonkers. Yes, sir. June 11th. That's Trillo's birthday, too. Drinks on Bonkers. June 11th. Actually, be in Blackhawk for that game, Dante. You should try to see if Crew Talk would let you take a PTO day on Friday and meet us down
I
there
think
for
that sounds
Hill.
like an invite, and I think I'll be
It's
there.
an invite. It's an invite. Yes, sir. All right, W episode, man. Look, I'm all fired up. Can't wait for the World Cup. So when you lose one, you got something else to look forward to. Such is life, Dante. Such is life. Anyways, we'll get that outro played. Thank you guys for hopping in on the chat. Real quick update on the Rockies, Dante, before we slide. Are they winning? Are they losing by 1 million? Fuck. They're
Down
down
two.
2-0. Yeah, Bonkers wouldn't take that bet. Anyways, go Rockies, go Twins. We'll see you guys on the other side. Tune in Friday for this weekend's best bets. Deuces.
R.I.P. Rowdy.